Hello, I'm meteorologist Rob Carlmark, and this is an update on what's going on in the Sierra regarding snow. Now, I just want to back this up to Super Bowl weekend, and we've got a million satellites out there. This is one. It's called the MODIS satellite that can take true color images, basically the way that your eye sees it. This is what it looked like. Just incredible. You could see the green grass. You could see the muddy rivers like the Yolo bypass here. This is something actually created for flood control to basically shove all the water away from Sacramento, populated area, so it can flow freely and then out to sea. And you can see the very solid, healthy Sierra snowpack, including the Southern Sierra, including the San Bernardino Mountains and Big Bear. So this is all looking pretty good. Again, a healthy sign that water is coming into the system, both rain and snow, and it's all working together, and the grass looking good. But getting back to the Sierra, this is one of these things that for this year, as far as rain in the bucket, we're doing pretty good. It's just been snow. In the beginning of the season, we missed out on some storms, and then some that came in were really warm, so we got rain rather than snow. But steadily, the cold air has moved in, and we've been really racking up a lot of snow. For example, I'm taping this on early Thursday morning, and you could see that overnight, a lot of spots picked up, close to 9 inches of snow, a foot for Palisades, Tahoe, North Star 9 inches, Sierra Tahoe 10 inches. So some places did pick up on some decent overnight snow. You add it into the snow water equivalent, which is really the way that you judge how much water is in that snow. And you can see some pretty healthy numbers. Now, these are all below average. This is 81% of average to the date for the Northern Sierra and 70% of average to the date for the Southern Sierra. So we'd like it to be 100. Hey, we'd like it to be a little bit above. But because there's so much water in the reservoirs, this is totally fine. And when you average it statewide, 73% is a good number to have. It's easily achievable to get to where you want by the end of the season. And even if it's roughly close to this number, water-wise, for the most part, we should be okay. Now, for some people, very reliant on state water or federal water coming out from the reservoirs, the allocations, what is available for what they want to use because it's cheaper water, that may be not 100% like it was last year, obviously, but certainly it's not going to be zero. So the pattern going forward is we like that the only spot really around the U.S. right now hanging on to some colder air is California. And then we also like that we're still retaining this pattern because, like I just showed you, we have some work to do. Now, with that said, the storms coming in are going to be fairly strong. The first one, Saturday, is going to be a quick hitter, and then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, these are atmospheric river storms, meaning it's pulling in a lot of moisture from down south, so they tend to be longer lasting. They tend to produce more for rain and for snow. And something very interesting has happened in the background. So there's two ways that you look at it. This is the Central Sierra Snow Lab at Donner Summit. It's been there for a long time. It has one of the longest snow records anywhere on the planet. But going back to two things, they've got two numbers that are important. This is percent of average for precipitation. That's rain and for snow. And you can see in that column, 85% is actually pretty good. But when you average it just for snowfall, you could see that gap. Now, that gap was much more pronounced earlier in the season. There was a huge difference between average precip versus average snowfall because what came in was warm, so it was more rain than snow. So there's a big difference between the two. Now they're more or less evening up. So that tells you, again, that these are the signs that we're having a normal, healthy winter with the rain and snow that we expect more or less coming in line. So again, as of Thursday, we've got some lingering light snow flurries. We're going to have fairly dry weather for today as well as on Friday, but there's no stopping this guy. Area of low pressure, plenty of moisture. It's going to just meander its way in, which means we're definitely going to be looking at snow on Saturday and then another round Sunday through about Wednesday. And other spots, I said we're one of the only spots still hanging on to the cold air. What we're seeing in the Midwest and other spots is still relatively cold, but we're still thankfully not going back to at least the much warmer air because then you get rain on snow. You have a bunch of late season problems. We just don't want any part of that right now. So here's what's left. The Thursday stuff is going to fitter away, and then that's it. And then we've got Saturday during the day. We've got rain and snow coming in. That should last overnight. Sunday morning, I paused it here because in our neck of the woods, this is a really crucial time. For people going to Tahoe, they care about Friday after work weather, which is Friday 5 p.m. to say 9 p.m. Good weather then. They also care about Sunday morning weather because then If you're going back to the Bay Area, Sacramento, you name it, you basically get out around 10 o'clock from your hotel wherever you're staying, and you're about on the road at this time unless you're going to stay through Sunday. And you can see there is a weather window that's okay. But by Sunday evening, more rain and snow, and then I'm just going to let this guy run because it's just kind of a mess. It basically is on and off through at least Wednesday, and then it could be sticking around toward the end of the week. The bottom line is this. We've got some pretty decent amounts coming our way. For example, on Saturday, which for valley spots is all day rain, ½ an inch to an inch, for snow that roughly translates into 6 to 12 inches, down to about 6,000 feet. This is more or less a standard classic winter storm. But remember, this is just the Saturday one. When you start to add up all that other murky stuff I showed you Sunday through basically next week, we continue to be in northern, central, and southern California, essentially the hot spot along the whole West Coast. So this is, again, going to add to rain in the bucket. This is going to be groundwater recharge, which is a huge deal these days. Essentially, water on wet soil that percolates down to help restore some of the groundwater. That's a big thing that all the water managers in the state and even federal are really focused on. So getting nice soaking rain is good for that. And it's also snowpack. It's tough to see exactly where we end up after all this, but since it's still cold and we have consistent wet storms that are atmospheric river type storms, really pulling in a lot of water into that snow, I think we're going to be in much better shape snowpack, and we're going to be, I think, a little bit closer to the average for this time of year once we get about 10 days out from now. So the bottom line is the snow in the Sierra is in good shape, and it's still coming.